Alright, so what we're looking at here is uh, Unreal 5.5. We've got a simple world, and we have this camera capture actor, but we also have a MCP server. And what that means is that if we have something like Claude and we can connect to an NPC server, then we can control the environment. But with the camera capture, um, class that I built about a year ago with AI, now it's part of this system. So we've got Unreal running. We've got a camera capture actor. We're going to run it, and then we're going to come to Claude, and we can see Claude says, oh, well, I can see this Unreal MCP server, and then I could say, can you take a picture of the scene? And what it's going to do is it's going to go out there and it's going to talk to the MCP server, and it's going to talk to the uh, camera, and it's this image. Let me show you what it looks like. Here's the scene: a desert landscape with a tiled floor, mountainous terrain, and a rainbow colored cube in the center. So we're talking to Claude, and Claude knows to reach out to the Unreal MCP server and tell the camera capture object to take a picture. Alright, so we do escape, we stop. So let's go over here and let's click on this, the camera capture object, and let's turn it around here, and let's run this thing again. And we come back to, whoops, let's run it, and then we come back to Claude. What do you see now? So it's going to go back out, and it's going to talk to the Unreal MCP server. It's going to get the camera capture object, and it's going to tell you what it sees. Same desert environment with mountains, tiled, blah, but the cube has changed. It's now a plain white. So this is Claude Code communicating with Unreal and using this year-old camera capture object that I built. It can see the environment. So let's shut down and let's back up for a little bit and see how we're doing this. Alright, so there's camera capture actor. This was a piece of code that I think maybe even OpenAI helped me code over a year ago. But what we're doing with this MPC MCP server is we're adding NPC functionality. And this site right here, this person has an example of how he has a skill for Claude to help set the environment up. You don't necessarily need the skill, but it goes through and it checks things out. I would watch this video, and I cloned Unreal MCP from this person, which did a fantastic job, and then I added my camera capture class right there, and then I added the ability to allow Claude to control the the camera. So we are leaps and bounds ahead of what I originally wanted to do and what I've been trying to do for the past couple of years. Now Claude, and really any other environment that can understand MCP, can control. We have MCP, that's the model control, language, and then we have the NCP or NPC, I'm sorry, which is these characters that you're going to have in the world. Anyway, bear with me. This is something I just finished up and merged in the camera class, and the next thing is going to be telling Claude or any MCP usable, whatever the word would be, connectivity model with Unreal Engine. So literally these models can come in and see the world based off of the classes and then do things. You can, totally imagine, where this possibly could go. I don't know if it's a commercial product, but finished it up today in an hour using Claude Code, and it went through and copied over the camera capture class that I did a year ago, and Claude was literally intrigued by itself, because it's like, oh, I can see this world, even though it's a plain world. That's not the point. The point is that the next step is the AIs can, using this MCP protocol, which might not be the best and the highest performant protocol, but all of a sudden they will be able to move and take pictures and observe 3D environments. And I think that's kind of crazy. So this person right here did the original MCP work. I added in the camera capture and then added in there's some other NPC um, verbs or whatever you want to call them to be able to move these actors around. And this actor may be eventually an NPC character, and you can just kind of tell Claude to do the thing. So anyway, how does this work? um, First things first is that uh, you're gonna have to already have a environment that in Unreal that can compile C++ code. And I'm not going to go into all those details because there's there's YouTubes on all of that. But this person goes through and guides you through that. Of course, he talks a little bit about on Mac OS. We're not doing that. This is Windows Pro. But, you know, of course, you're going to have Claude Code installed. Um, you're going to have to be able to, compile, um, Unreal, projects with C++ code. He goes over that a little bit. Nice thing is with his setup, uh, his skill, he kind of gates the whole situation, which is, one after the other, install this and do this and do this. So if you're totally new to Unreal Engine um, and Claude Code, you could just watch these videos, but, I can't support, you know, people that don't have the skill set to already know how to get this to work. If you're already into Unreal Engine and you want to hook it up to an MCP server, then watch this video and you could take it to the next level. Now, if you follow his instructions and he says git clone, and it says well go clone, you know, this guy's repo, it's like no, you git clone my repo, and that has all the code for doing screen capture and all the what they call verbs, commands to make it happen. And then you have to build it, and it's not going to be simple, but once you get it going, it's a fascinating thing. Now, I pulled in the camera capture class this morning for 2026, and I just told Claude, hey, this code's over there in this directory, pull it into this project. So um, you don't have to do that right now, but anyway, I just thought this was fascinating, and a lot of people aren't interested in this stuff, but this is the next phase, which is Claude moving around inside of Unreal Engine and looking around and understanding the environment. And this was just, I got that for free. All we did is move the class into the project, and it reworked the commands from Python to Unreal, and it just worked in an hour. Anyway, that's all I got. Maybe some of y'all will dig this. I'm not really sure if MCP is the fastest thing to do this type of thing. The next stage is building personas, which are basically going to be agents and folders inside of this project, and then telling Claude to become in this particular persona, which could be some kind of game character or something like that, and then it takes on the personality based off of a MD file that tells Claude how to behave until there is a command that says stop. And I've done this before in the web interface of Claude over a year ago, and it's done it. So that's the next thing, is to now give a persona, a particular character in the game world, and now that character can see things and then make decisions. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed it. I know it's been a while. Sorry for the recording, crappy recording, whatever. But if you can get this going, now you can have a discussion with Claude and or maybe OpenAI, whatever. Well, I'll try to figure that out in a game world. And you can, that persona can take over inside of that game world. Now it can see. And then we'll work on how to deal with sounds. So, really fascinating. I hope you all enjoy it, and have a good one.